Moira Dingle and Kim Tate meet in the prison visiting area tonight, and viewers who have already streamed the episode on ITVX know that their confrontation ends in a surprising way. The two characters finally face each other during tonight's episode of Emmerdale. For several weeks, Tate has been secretly plotting against the Dingle family in an attempt to gain their share of Butler's farm. He has already pressured Robert and Victoria into selling their portion, and now Cain is the next person he is targeting. After Cain stole Joe's car and was caught on security cameras, Joe has used the evidence to trap him, leaving Cain with almost no escape. In tonight's episode, Kim confronts Joe and criticizes him for refusing to leave the Dingles alone. Joe insists that he is actually the one being wronged. However, Kim stands her ground and tells him he should have spoken to her before taking any action. Joe feels upset and believes his efforts are not appreciated, but Kim shows little concern about his feelings. Later, Kim goes to the prison to meet Moira. During their conversation, Moira tells her, "Let's stop the games and allow the adults to handle this properly." For viewers who plan to watch the episode when it airs tonight, the result of their meeting will not be revealed here. However, those who have already watched it say the outcome is quite unexpected. One fan commented on social media, saying they certainly did not see that twist coming. Another viewer admitted they were unsure about trusting the result, while someone else said they were excited to see what happens next in the storyline. This development follows a poll conducted on Emmerdale Insider last week, which showed that most viewers strongly oppose Moira selling the farm to the Tate family under any circumstances. An overwhelming 83% of voters said they would not want the Tates to win the battle for the farm. Some fans commented things like, "No way, don't sell the farm, keep fighting them," while another joked that Moira should drive her tractor through manure and splash Joe with it. Other viewers mentioned how important the farm is to Moira, especially because her daughter Holly is buried there. One fan said the family deserves a positive ending. A few people suggested that selling the farm might be necessary, but not to the Tates. Ideas included Caleb purchasing it to help the family, someone else taking ownership, or even Robert reclaiming it so the land returns to the Sugden family name. Whatever the final decision may be, tonight's episode is likely to change the future of farming in Emmerdale in a big way. In Emmerdale, Kim delivers an unexpected response when discussing the powerful presence of Cain, showing a side of her that many viewers might not expect. So what really separates Kim from Tate in the village drama? The biggest difference is that Kim actually shows compassion. This may come as a surprise because in the past, Kim rarely worried about the impact her actions had on others in the community. However, forming a new family at home farm with Will, Dawn, Billy, their children, along with Gabby and her son, seems to have softened her personality over time. Whatever the reason behind the change, Kim now appears more thoughtful toward other people, something that Joe clearly struggles to do. During tonight's episode, Kim was called to the police station after learning that Moira wanted to speak with her. A tearful Moira explained that she had decided to sell her share of Butler's farm to Kim. Kim immediately became doubtful and questioned why Moira had suddenly altered her decision. At first, Moira refused to explain the reason, prompting Kim to stand up and say the deal could not move forward unless Moira was honest about her motives. Eventually, Moira admitted the truth. She explained that she wanted to sell because Cain is battling cancer, and the family needs to focus on supporting him rather than fighting to keep the farm afloat. Although the decision devastated Moira, she felt she had no other option left. Kim sympathized with her and understood why she had reached that difficult conclusion. In a touching moment, Kim reassured Moira that she would always be able to visit Holly's grave, which is located on the farm. Later, when Kim returned to home farm, Joe was surprised to hear that Moira had completed the sale of Butler's farm. He quickly began pouring champagne for Kim, Graham, and himself, eager to celebrate the victory. However, Kim had no interest in celebrating the moment. She told Joe that Cain's unusual behavior in recent weeks was due to his cancer diagnosis. Joe was clearly shocked by the revelation, but he remained focused on the business success for Home Farm Estates. He lifted his glass to toast the growing empire, but Kim raised hers and said the toast should be dedicated to Cain instead, describing him as a true force of nature. Earlier, Graham had warned Joe that if he failed to reflect on what truly matters in his life, the authority he currently holds through the farm business could eventually become destructive. Joe's decision to later stroll into the pub and inform Cain about Moira selling Butler's farm suggests that he may only care about those connected to Home Farm. This raises an important question. Will Graham's warning turn out to be accurate? And could Joe end up losing everything if the power he holds begins to control him? In Coronation Street, Kit takes a huge gamble after the man who had been stalking his mother suddenly regains consciousness following a brutal attack. When the unstable electrician Mal was discovered badly beaten and left fighting for his life, viewers were stunned to learn that the person responsible was actually Kit. At first, the obvious suspect seemed to be Kit's mother Bernie, and considering the circumstances, it's understandable why people suspected her. Bernie first met Mal during a night out while she was drowning her sorrows over Billy's death. They spent the evening drinking heavily with friends, and Mal quickly developed an interest in her, making it clear he was attracted to her. Even though Bernie refused to betray her loyal husband Dev, she did end up taking drugs with Mal during the night. The following morning, she woke up with a terrible hangover and decided she never wanted to see him again. Unfortunately, things didn't end there. Mal soon appeared at her home and refused to stay away. His obsession grew worse when he even managed to get a job fixing faulty wiring at Roy's place, just so he could remain nearby. As Mal's behavior became more intense, Bernie grew increasingly frightened of him and worried about the danger he posed to her marriage. Desperate to get rid of him, Bernie tried to force Mal to leave and even threatened to kill him if he didn't stay away. However, Mal simply laughed off the threat and insisted that he wasn't going anywhere. Soon after, Mal was rushed to hospital in a critical condition. Only a few hours earlier, Bernie had confided in Kit about how the electrician had been making her life unbearable. Disturbed by what he heard, Kit decided to confront Mal and give him a warning. Although the confrontation was meant to scare him rather than seriously harm him, the situation took a dangerous turn when Mal suffered a heart attack during the altercation. Emmerdale typically broadcasts on ITV on weekday evenings at 8 p.m, while episodes are also made available earlier on ITVX from 7 a.m.